How's it going, guys? Skoks, Chicago Blackhawks Central here. Going to wrap up the Hawks and Ducks matchup on Tuesday night, and the Hawks and Panthers matchup on Thursday night tonight. Pretty good win tonight. Great defensive play, a few nice goals, and we'll get into a little Bedard talk as well. But going to wrap up two games here on Thursday night. So let's get into it, and let me roll the intro. Yeah, so let's start out with the Tuesday night matchup against the Anaheim Ducks, which the game started out fairly well. Connor Bedard, 2 points, 2 assists, a few decent chances on net, but has not scored yet. So that is an 11-game scoring drought, which is not fun, right? Because we all want to see 98 get on the board, but he is getting a few assists here and there. But would definitely love to see him bury a goal here very, very soon. But let me pull up the lineup from last game and tonight, which there was only one change. So from Tuesday night, right here, Soderblom was in net, so not Mrazek, but Soderblom was in net against the Ducks on Tuesday, and Kurashev was scratched. Maroon was out, and there was someone else out. Or no, Maroon is in on the fourth line. So Bedard, Dickinson, Anderson, Bertuzzi, Foligno, Mikheyev. I believe Teravainen was on that second line with Bertuzzi and Foligno on Tuesday. Hall, Donato, Bertuzzi, Maroon, Reichel Smith, Vlasic Murphy, Allen Martinez, Kaiser, Brody. White Kaiser has had a few rough games recently. The last two to three games, he's been caught in the D zone a few times, just sort of chasing the puck and not really playing the boards much. But he did get caught back in there. So let me wrap up the stats and scoring from Tuesday night. Let's bring it up here. Let's take a look. So the 3 stars of the game for Tuesday against the Ducks, which the team kind of fell asleep in the third period. Not a whole ton of offense. Started out fairly well, like I said, but did not end up closing out that game, which we should have. But Leo Carlson got on the board. Jason Dickinson was the first star, 2 goals. First game paired up with Connor Bedard. Alex Killorn, 2 points, 1 goal, 1 assist against the Hawks. And Bedard with 2 assists. Definitely some highlight reel worthy assist on Tuesday. If you guys haven't seen that, definitely pull up the reels and highlights on that game. Definitely impressive. 52.7% at the faceoff dot, which we like to see. But the first goal was from TJ Brody to 98 to Jason Dickinson. The Ducks scored, make it 1-1. Jason Dickinson on the board again, his 4th goal of the season. Tabo to Bedard to Dickinson. And Killorn from Trevor Zegras, which he only has 3 assists on the season, which is pretty brutal. That's pretty brutal. That was their 2nd goal of the game, so that ties up the game. But Hawks were in the lead going into the third period. 4 more minutes later, so about 11 minutes left in the game, Leo Carlson gets the game winner here, less than 10 minutes in, and that is the last goal of the game from Zegras to Killorn to Carlson. So that line was fairly dominant against the Hawks on Tuesday. Definitely put a few pucks in the net towards the end there, but Hawks could not close up that game, which we definitely should have. I think we played a fairly decent game, but just not tough enough at the end. Just kind of gave that win away to the Ducks, which uh, I believe they are 500 right now. So not the worst team, but not a great team either. Definitely should have had a win on Tuesday. So kind of pissed about that. But going into tonight, Hawks and Panthers. Coming off the loss, 3-2 loss from the Ducks. We weren't feeling great about this game, but hey, starting out in the first period, those guys were skating, those guys were getting pucks on net, and that's what we'd like to see. Bedard, Dickinson, Anderson on the first line once again. Joey Anderson's still don't love him on the first line, but he had a few chances, created a few plays, battling in the corner. Definitely a decent game from him, but still maybe not the best line mate for that first line. Seems to be like a bit of a checking line with Dickinson and Anderson. Like I believe it's Rinkside General, the Twitter account Rinkside General. I think he says something like they put Bedard on a shutdown line to try and defend the other team's top lines, which doesn't make any sense at all with Bedard on the first line. He's there to create offense, not um, defend the other team's most dominant line, because then you're taking away all of his offense, and his weakness is on the defensive side, which doesn't make a whole ton of sense. So, would like to see that get changed up. And I know Bedard and Dickinson have had a few good chances, but you can't have them on a checking line and expect a whole ton of offense from them. I don't think it's working out very well. They had a good game against the Ducks on Tuesday, but definitely don't like that line at all. That's just my thoughts on it, and I know uh, other people, think the same on that. Bertuzzi, Foligno, Mikheyev. Thought Ilya Mikheyev had a decent game once again. Showed some speed. He had a few chances at the net. Thought he scored in the first period, but he did not. But a few decent chances from him in the first period on the second line with Bertuzzi. Still haven't seen a whole ton from Bertuzzi. It's very disappointing. I don't know how you guys feel about Tyler on that second line right now, but it's just not looking great with that 4-year contract, and there's still a whole lot of time. But I don't love what I see in this early season so far. Just don't love it. Taylor Hall, Donato, Teravainen. Thought Donato and Teravainen looked pretty good tonight as well. But Taylor Hall, bit of a puck hog. He's always trying to cycle, but ends up just carrying the puck all around the O-zone behind the net. Doesn't create a whole ton of scoring chances. Uh, just a bit of a weird player. I don't know what's going on with his game, but I don't love what I see. But I do like Donato and Teravainen. I thought they had a few great chances. Donato and Teravainen, both of them. Thought they both had a few great scoring chances, and Tavo does get on the board. Uh, the first goal of the game for the Hawks, so like seeing that. Maroon, Reichel, and Smith. Maroon and Smith hooked up a couple times, and one time for a goal. Reichel had a few flashes, which I like to see, and I think he's been showing that since he's been in the lineup. So love to see that. Absolutely love that. Let me pull up the game stats for from tonight on Thursday night against the right here. Let me pull up the stats against the Panthers. Let's take a look at the numbers now. just taking a look at the team stats first. So let me bring up the game stats, and we'll get into this. Yeah, so 3 stars of the game, actually. First star is Craig Smith with 1 goal. A nice little move on Spencer Knight, and he puts a top shelf backhand, which is a beautiful goal. Nick Foligno, 2 points, 1 goal, 1 assist. Peter Mrazek, stout in the net against the Panthers, former or reigning Stanley Cup champions. Mrazek with 32 saves out of 33, only lets him 1 goal, 97% save percentage, just awesome. Love seeing that from Mrazek. There's not a whole ton to worry about in the net with Soderblom and Mrazek right now. I really don't see a whole ton of concern there. Shots 33 from the Panthers and 20 for the Hawks. So would like to see a little more shots on net, a little more high danger chances. We did have a good amount actually tonight, but still, it just doesn't seem like it on broadcast. Bedard definitely struggled in this game, like I said, trying to make him play on a shutdown line. Just doesn't match up just very well. So I don't like seeing that at all. Faceoff percentage 43.1 for the Hawks, so back down to the mid 40s once again. But looking at the scoring, let me pull up the Tavo goal so we could all take a look at this right here. Yeah, Tavo, awesome move at the net on Spencer Knight. A bit of a rebound from Bertuzzi from Vlasic, his 8th assist, just awesome on the back end. He's your 1D right now on the blue line. So, hey, man, Seth Jones update. He will be out for, I believe, 4 weeks. But Alex Vlasic, man, he's just so fun to watch. Him, Kaiser, and Nolan Allen. Kaiser and Allen had a few rough instances, but overall a decent game. I actually noticed Nolan Allen a little more, making a few more plays to get the puck up ice. So love to see that. But Tavo gets on the board first about 3 minutes into the first period there. Second period, awesome play from Pat Maroon on the right board, sends it up cross ice towards Craig Smith on the rush. He gets some space and puts a top corner, top shelf off the backhand. So nice move from Craig Smith for his 5th goal. From Foligno there, the secondary assist. Sam Reinhart, awesome goal from him, from Forsling to Ekblad to Sam Reinhart for his 15th goal of the season. That's about 40 seconds later. Makes the game 2-1, Hawks to lead. Third period was not great at all for the offensive end, but the captain, Nick Foligno, he gets on the board, makes the game 3-1 with the empty net with a minute to go. So more of a defensive game in the third period, but once again, I do not like to see Bedard on that first line with, a defensive mindset, really, with Dickinson and Anderson. Just doesn't make a whole ton of sense to me. Would rather just see Teravainen or even Donato back on that first line. Just have an offensive game. I don't like this line. It's not helping him out at all, really. Even though they did have a good game against the Ducks, but it's the Ducks, and we saw what that line does against the Panthers, which is not much tonight. So would like to see something else, done there. Let's see what we could do. GMKD, man. Now is the time to make something right here. So definitely need his help coming up here. Yeah, so that pretty much wraps up tonight's game. 3-1 final against the Florida Panthers. completely blanked on that. Yeah, but reigning Stanley Cup champs, and we take them down tonight, 3-1 final. And next matchup, I believe, is the weekend. Let me pull it up here, and we are matching up against the Philadelphia Flyers. That's definitely fun. Saturday night or Saturday midday, actually Saturday matinee against the Flyers on NHL Network. Yeah, that game will be at noon, so that's going to be fun, man. Midday game, always love to see that. So Saturday matinee against the Flyers on uh, Saturday. Yeah, awesome. So we'll see you then. Let's go Hawks.